Hey friends, so new week, new month, we are going to do a longer market update video and we will touch on all the instruments like SPY, the Hong Kong market, US market, China market, Nifty, and of course, lastly, Bitcoin. Okay, so the very first thing is that we do a trade review for last month, like what exactly happened to the market. So 1st April, the market started around here, so it only went up for one day. So on the 2nd of April, Donald Trump actually announced the sweeping tariff, which he actually calls it Liberation Day. So from here, 2nd April onwards, the market tanked all the way down to 7th of April. So this is a very huge drop. Of course, this huge drop, we didn't actually get any opportunity to short the market. The reason is because every single day for the 3 or 4 days over here, every single day they are all gapping down. But of course, all this gapping down, we actually spot a very, very nice opportunity because remember somewhere in this low, so this low over here, right, somewhere I think around here, because I was making a video or something, I didn't catch the extreme bottom. So after the video, I told you guys like I will be buying long-term investment in stocks such as like indexes also, such as VOO, Palantir, Nvidia, AMD, all that. So we bought somewhere near to this low. Okay, then market rally all the way up. So on the 9th of April, which is around 2 days later, Donald Trump actually announced the pausing of the sweeping tariff for 90 days. So after pausing it, it was really awesome. So from the low, right, within 12 hours, the stock market actually rallied 12.7% in just 12 hours. And from there on, it has been very good to us for like the past 3 weeks, and we are making very, very good profits. So with your long-term investment, all that, so far I have not taken off. No, I have taken off partial profit for Palantir last Friday. Yeah, other than that, all of the long-term investment, we are still holding it. Okay, and what are my plans going forward, all that. So remember just now I mentioned about this Liberation Day. So the highest market went was about 570, and this is a it's a major resistance which we actually have to watch out for, because if you were to look over here at price is reaching this 570 really soon. Okay, and if you just scroll back a little, okay, I tried to zoom in a little so you can actually see what's exactly happening. So this 570, why is it place that you have to look out for? Liberation Day, one touch. There's a few touches over here, here, 2 touches here, and here should be another, I think, 4 to 5 touches. So you can see this is actually a very major resistance area that we have to watch out. Okay, so secondly, we use smart money concept. Let me zoom in this part for you. Okay, so over here, this purple color zone, right, it's actually the bearish order block which we have broken out already. So we have broken out of this purple color zone with this body candle close. It's also a confirmation that market can trend even higher. And secondly is that we have broken this previous top over here. Okay, so for this, we actually did a change of character with a confirmation with the body candle close. And at the same time, we actually had we have a unmitigated FVG, unmitigated fair value gap. So let me just change this color for you. Let's put red color. So you can see that I have created another zone over here, and market didn't actually pull back into this zone first before we start another rally up. So what does this mean? It means that I think this coming week, either Monday and Tuesday, SPY likely, there's a higher chance that SPY will actually crawl into this zone before we start another rally going up, breaking this 570. So why I think that it will break this 570 is actually quite simple. Let's put it at red color first. Then we go back. Right now, we'll use Elliott wave to help us identify what is exactly the market doing. So the very first thing from this very low over here, this coming up is actually a wave 1. Okay, and then this wave coming down. Okay, this wave coming down is actually your 3-wave correction. So this is your A wave, your B wave, and your C wave. So this A, B, C actually becomes your wave 2. Okay. And right now, the market is heading up for wave 3. And just using a very simple rule is that wave 3 cannot be the shortest wave among all the impulsive move. Okay, so this wave 3 cannot be the shortest. So what can we do? It's easy. The first thing is that we take a trend line from the low to the high of wave 1. We connect it to the low of wave 2. And you can see that wave 3 itself, if it cannot be the shortest wave, it actually far exceed the 570 already. Yeah, so that's the reason why I think that market will pull back a little into this fair value gap. After that, we will have another rally going up, breaking this at least longer than the wave 1, at least by maybe even 10 cent or something is more than good enough. Okay, before we start to see another pullback coming back to this 570, that's when I will get even more confirmation and more confident that the market will hit on even higher in the coming weeks. Okay, so lastly is that how much can SPY keep continue trending up? Okay, this is something that we won't know, but of course we can use good indicators help us to identify whether we are getting a bigger correction or larger pullback before we start to buy even more positions. So for now, if you have like any swing trading, day trading, or even position trading positions, I think next week will be good to actually take off some partial profits and move your stop loss even tighter. Okay, so the first thing we'll use is RSI. So let's go to the daily chart. So on the daily chart, you can see that although we are right now at about 566, right? RSI is very near to 60 only. It's not even in the overbought zone, which is 70. So I think there's a chance that SPY can still continue going up at least a little, maybe to somewhere around here, which is about 576 area, before we get a bigger pullback or a longer pullback in duration before we start to hit up even higher again. Okay, so RSI you can see is not overbought yet, and at the same time, if we drop down to 4 hours, the RSI right over here, let me just expand for you. You can see that RSI, there's no divergence at all. Okay, meaning to say that the strength or the momentum is still not dying out. So SPY definitely can keep going up, and RSI can keep just dipping down a little, climb up, down a little, climb up before one day or maybe next week or the following week we start to see divergence in RSI. Then maybe we'll hit back to the middle level, which is more balanced, before the market start another rally again. Okay, or even all the way into the oversold zone. Okay, that's it for RSI. Then we move on to MACD. So let me just open up MACD for you. So even in MACD, you can see that 4 hours, which is somewhere around here, the momentum is actually still not dying out yet. Okay, you can see the peak of MACD is here, the other peak is here. This is actually higher, so there's no divergence at all. Next, let me just delete this. But of course, there's one thing that we have to keep a lookout is the EMA. So if you were to take a look at the EMA, which is around here, all the way to the top here, the distance between the EMA and price is actually around 3.8%. So the usual zone is about 3% to 5% before we start to get a pullback again. Okay, the pullback maybe to this EMA 20 again. Then after that, we'll start another rally going up. So for us, I can say that we are pretty safe because over the weekend, there are no major news as of right now. Right now is actually 12:40 a.m. So I'm actually making this video and trying to rush it out so that tomorrow morning you guys can watch it and plan for your trades the coming weeks or something like that. Okay, so for us, we are pretty safe because all our positions bought are at the lower zone area. So we definitely have a lot of room for the market to even, let's say, rally up coming to around this high before it actually starts to pull back, then we'll start shifting our stop loss. But of course, if you want to have a more conservative play, right, what you can do is that you can shift your stop loss to this low over here. Otherwise, this low, just right below this fair value gap, you should be pretty safe. Okay. So I'm done with SPY. Let me just take a final look and see whether did I miss out any point. Yes, so far no. Okay, so the next level to watch out for is 570 to 576 or 577, around there. So I think this will be quite a tight zone for us to actually tighten up our stop loss to secure profits first before we find more opportunity to get in again. Okay, so then we'll move on to HSI. Okay, HSI is also the very same thing. It's actually entering this zone again. Okay, so what it means. Right now, I have no idea whether there will be any buying opportunity or not. But of course, last week, because there was like this correction over here, like this triangular pattern. So last week, I think we bought JD or Futu, right? And it's actually in very good profit right now. So the moment HSI enter into this zone, can watch for price action and see whether is there any some sort of like rejection or not, or we can straight away like go through this whole zone and then we start to pull back into this zone. So this zone will turn into a support, and that's where we will see HSI really flying off or rocket again. Okay. And this zone, the very first level that it might reject off is right at the start of the zone. The second one is actually this gap over here. So somewhere in between this zone are levels for you to watch out for, especially this area. Okay. Okay, next we move on to BABA. Let's see BABA. BABA for now, there's not much of an opportunity unless it pullbacks a little. That's when maybe I will be interested to buy BABA again. PDD, nothing much, is already trending. JD, I think we bought JD. We bought JD somewhere here, right? Yes, somewhere here. It was JD that we bought. Then Futu, nothing much to do. So we move on. Okay, wait, before that, okay, if you are like me, you still have the 2800 position, which we bought somewhere here in this area, and I hold through this. It went up all the way to about 25,000. I told you guys to book all your profits because by then it was roughly about a 30% ROI on your 2800. If you did it, good job for you. But if you didn't, like me, I actually the HSI actually came all the way down. After that, right now it's actually going up again. So I think my profit is not really a lot. Mine is roughly about $19 plus, right? So just somewhere in the middle, let's say $19.50 to right now, it's about 15% gain. So for me, I'm still not exiting the position as of right now. My target for HSI minimally is about, let me take a look. Minimum is about 27,000 or so. Yes, about 27,000 to about 29,000. Maybe I will decide to book off like some partial profits. But as of now, no plans. So next we'll move on to Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin, we are Bitcoin, I have stopped trading it since after Donald Trump was elected the president. So the last time I have traded it, you can see it was all around this area. Yeah, this whole area. I've been trading Bitcoin because I think that time was during the election period. Once it reached, I think, above 100,000, I stopped and told you guys Bitcoin is going to have a correction for at least a few months, 3 months, 4 months or so. And this is the correction that has been developed. And we have broken out over here. So let me drop down to maybe 4 hours for you. Okay, so 4 hours over here, remember this trend line? I told you guys that this was the only time, if you just go back, every single time Bitcoin came very close to the trend line, it didn't consolidate and drop, okay? And over here, same thing. It didn't consolidate and tank. Here, same thing. Here, same thing. Here, there's a little bit of consolidation, but then we didn't get any confirmation. That's why there was no buying opportunity. The next one is here. Okay, once it reached very close to the trend line, it tanked. So once I think last week or I think 2 weeks or something ago, I can't remember the date because I don't usually trade Bitcoin, but because I know our group members, some of you actually trade. So on mid of April, I actually saw this and told you guys that Bitcoin might be consolidating and breaking out. So if you actually bought Bitcoin around this zone, you did a good job. And Bitcoin is right now very close to the 100,000 zone. Okay, so right now this week or these 2 weeks, I think Bitcoin will start to pull back a little. Of course, that's when if there's opportunity, you can add on your positions, or you can actually take off some partial profit, because this 100,000 psychological level is going to be quite a strong resistance. That's where a lot of like sellers, they will station around here to short the market. So if of course Bitcoin reach this area, you can decide whether you want to book off all your profits or just tighten up your stop loss to see whether it can actually really break through, come back and consolidate above this 100,000, and market might start to Bitcoin might start to rocket again. Okay, so most of the instrument I have touched on. Nifty very nice, is amazing. So I think the position that I bought was where I can't remember already. I think I bought Nifty here, right? I think it's this. Yeah, somewhere around here. So right now it's in slight profit, not amazing, but at least it's in profit already. And Nifty have already broken out of this trend line, this downtrend line. So right now I'm waiting for Nifty to do a pullback. But for this maybe 1 or 2 months, I have no plans to add any positions in Nifty, because one of the reasons is that I have maxed out most of my available cash into like stocks view or that. So I don't have much bullet left to actually buy Nifty. So I might give it a miss for a few months for now. Okay. And next is we move on to this image. I want to show you this. No, not this. Let me see. Yes, correct. This. Okay, this chart. So if you're a long-term investor, right? Over here you can see that most importantly is that what this picture mean is that they're actually looking at bear market, and markets that are very, very near to a bear market, which means that the SPY actually closed 20% from the peak. Okay, so you can see over here the percentage are all mostly all of them are above 20, and the lowest one is about 9.3% over here. So from this picture, what it's actually telling you is that from the peak to the trough, okay, and market recovers at least 50% of the bear market, right? So next, after it actually recovers 50%, did it actually make a new low after that? So from here, you can see most of the data are no, except 2022. 2022, it actually make a new low before it starts to rally up. And from here, you can see that the 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months performance. 1 month is nothing amazing. 1 month later, after the low, the market is like 46% plus minus. Some of them are in the green, some of them are in the red. So it's like a 50-50 thing. But then if you have a long-term vision in your long-term investment, 3 months later, 6 months later, and 12 months later, especially 12 months later, all of them are actually green. Okay, you are making good profit. And based on this percentage, the minimum one, the lowest one that we can see over here is 1.1%. So if you have a long-term investment that make 1.1%, of course, this is not a good return for 1 year, because averagely SPY, it makes roughly about 10% a year averagely for the past 100 years. Okay, so from here, as long as you have long-term visions in your belief in your investment. There's nothing for you to scared at all, especially 3 months later. You can see that the odds are roughly about 86%. Okay, 6 months later, 73%. Okay, that's all for this image. If you want, you can take a screenshot. If you are in the group, I will send it to you. So don't worry about this part. Okay, next is this. Okay, I want to talk about this is, so in June, no, this is May, yes. So in May, should you sell off your all your trading instrument or even your long-term investment? From here, you can see out of about 10 years, the only year on 2019 is actually negative. It didn't actually move much. Okay, it's actually negative, but the rest you can see that all of them are actually positive. But of course, you can see over here, right? Even though they are positive, they are not going a lot. They are not moving a lot. Some of them is like 1%, 1.5. That's as low as 0.0%. So for the whole of May, the market is just moving sideways. So we go back to the chart and let me show you this example. Okay, let's take a look at SPY. Okay, so just SPY. Okay, so over here, let me just enlarge everything for you again. So on here, over here, this is all of these are May. Okay, but all different year. So this is year 24, this is 23, this is 22, 21, and 20. From here, just based on the chart pattern for the whole of May, you can see that although on different year, May is actually going up. Okay, this started somewhere around here. So this 21 was flat. Okay, and then for 22, it started here and it ended up here. So it's slightly positive. And then put 23, it started here and ended around the same area. And for 24, 24 was a very strong year, especially the beginning of the year. It was like really strong. I remember it trend roughly about 20 over percent just in the start of the year. So May, same thing. It started here and it ended here. So just based on all these candlestick for the past 5 years, you can see that May, it can be sideways or slightly positive. Okay, so what can we do with all these chart patterns? So if you want, what you can do is you use this. I think just now I used this tool called the bars pattern. So from there, you just copy and paste. And then you just bring it, let me bring all of them down and then let me show it to you. So how is May going to look like for us? Okay, so the 1st of May is here. Okay, so let me just use 2.4. So 2.4, let's say the price actually started somewhere around here. Okay, just by using this, I didn't resize it or do anything, okay. So you have a better idea where the market is going to move to. Okay, so from here, I need these two. Okay, so let's say for 2.4, right, the May is actually positive. So from here, the start, you can see that it went up roughly about 4.84%. And I really like especially the 2.4 forecast. Why? Because this actually coincide with our analysis. What I actually told you is that, remember this part. Let me zoom in again. Okay, remember this part or not? So you can see because we have this fair value gap, right? I want market to come inside this fair value gap, consolidate at least for a few days, and market starts to rally, breaking above this 570. Okay, after that, come back again to around this 570, give us a very nice correction. Okay, moving very sideways, and that's where I will start to buy the market again or add into my positions. Okay, so the 2024 May prediction or the forecast is actually very beautiful. So this is something that I'm actually looking at. Then next we change. Okay, 2.4 already. We change to 2.3. Okay, 2.3, same thing we put over here. So if you were to use 2.3, you can see that the whole the whole of May is just ranging around this area, which also coincides with our bearish order block because we have broken out of it with a body candle close, and of course the body this bearish order block, it actually turns into a support. So if it's ranging inside this zone, it's actually a support for us to hit even higher, maybe in June. Okay. Next, I accidental, we don't need it lah, so we can just delete this. Then next we move on to this, should be 2-2 already. Okay, so 2-2, you can see 2-2, 2-2, I'm not too sure whether we'll do something like that. So basically we are going up and down almost nowhere for the whole month. Okay, then next will be 2-1. How do I select this? Okay, let me bring it down. So for 2-1, you can see from here, same thing, market just ranging sideways inside this whole zone. Okay, so basically nothing much. And then lastly is 2022. 2022, the market is slightly positive. Yes, so over here, very same thing with our idea. So market consolidate a bit in this fair value gap. Then after that, it goes up, consolidate around here before we start another rally going up. Okay, so I'm pretty much done with SPY. And right now we can go and take a look at some other stuff. Okay, the very first thing is, okay, seasonality. Seasonality over here, you can see SPY. Let's say for SPY, in the month of May, you can see it's not a very good month, especially very near to the mid of May, it starts to tank. But of course, seasonality is just an average, like for the past 20 years, whether is a good month or a bad month or that, but of course it's not very accurate, but then of course we can use it as a reference. So from here you can see May and June is just almost going sideways and it's not actually going anywhere, okay, until maybe around end of June, then it starts to rally again. Okay, and just remember this. Okay, end of June it starts to rally. I will explain more once we go into the economic calendar. Okay, so the economic calendar for this week, let me just do a refresh. This week, okay, this week there's no major events except for Thursday. Thursday we have FOMC, but I can tell you that very likely this FOMC there will not be any interest rate cuts. Why? Because there's still a lot of tariff uncertainty, and right now we are just pausing the tariff. We are not totally like, there's no outcome as of right now. So the latest, it will be on the 9th of July. We will know the result, whether how much is the tariff going to be imposed on those affected countries. For as of right now, there's no outcome. Definitely, I think Powell, he will just hold rates and see what's the outcome of the tariff first before he makes a decision whether he wants to cut interest rate or not. But of course, the chances of cutting interest rate, I think it will be either June or July. But July, I think July will be the month that they will cut the interest rate. Okay. Then, of course, you can see that FOMC is actually at 2 a.m. So if you are still awake at that time, you can watch FOMC. For me, most likely I'm asleep already, so I will watch it the next morning. Okay, next is earnings. Okay, this week we have a lot of big names coming up. So the very first one, Monday, after market close, Palantir. We have position in Palantir. So for you, if you're uncomfortable with the risk, of course you can just close out everything because Palantir is really amazing. So Palantir we bought, and Palantir is almost breaking this previous high already. Okay, so I'm not too sure whether earnings it will go up or go down. Nobody will knows. So if you're uncomfortable, just take off maybe partial profits 50% to 80% and let the remaining like 20 to 50% run its course. Okay. Next is that you can see we have Celsius, SMCI, AMD. Okay, AMD is actually another interesting stock. Okay, AMD is something that I like it so much. Okay, why? Same thing like Bitcoin. Remember Bitcoin? Okay, so previously we have like this trend line, I think somewhere around here to here, right? And one more thing, did you notice? Very same thing, like Bitcoin. Every time it comes to the trend line, it just tank. Comes to the trend line, tank. Comes to the trend line, tank. Here comes to the trend line, tank. But what is AMD doing right now? Okay. Okay, we have positions in AMD already, so there's nothing to afraid of. For me, I will definitely AMD, I will hold through earnings. See, what is AMD doing? It's going sideways just under this trend line. Okay, so I think AMD, there's a high chance that they will actually start a new rally from here. Okay, especially the earnings. So AMD, I will hold and see what will happen next. But of course, if it dumps lower, I will decide whether I want to exit the position or I will continue to hold. Okay. Next is what are some of the big names? Okay, CVNA if you trade ARM, and what else? Okay, Shopify, Coin. Is there any more big names that we should take note of? Okay, TDD, if you trade them, Cloudflare. Yes, so these are some of the major earnings that you have to take note for this week. So other than that, I'm pretty much done with the whole analysis already, and I will just wrap it up. So if I miss out any point or if you have any more questions, feel free to ask in the group. I will definitely try to help you as much as I can. Okay, as always, stay safe, take care, manage your risk, and see you around. Bye bye.